was drawn to international tax, actually because of international law. I have worked since the very start with tax as a trainee at a law firm, even before graduating from law school back there in Brazil. I wouldn't say that working with tax back then was a conscious decision. It just happened that I was allocated to the tax team of the law firm because they thought I had the skills that they needed that matched what they required at the time at the department. But my favorite subject had always been public international law. And I could never really work with that in practice. Back in Brazil, there was no real opportunity for that. So when I started to have more contact with international tax during my master's in Paris, that's when I realized, oh, I can actually combine tax and international law. And finally, I could work with treaties and with the relation between states. So since then, international tax has been my focus. And not surprisingly, tax treaty is my favorite topic until today. The accomplishment that I'm most proud of is probably my PhD on the proper use of tax treaties by contracting states. And it was a very challenging project, and it took longer than expected. But I learned a lot during the whole process, not only tax-wise, but also in terms of structural writing, critical thinking, taking the time to really research and go in depth into the topics, to find out, identify the core problems and ask the fundamental questions. So really doing fundamental research. And I was lucky because when I was doing my PhD, I was already at IBFD, and we have an amazing library, and they were very supportive and they helped me a lot during the whole process, because many times I needed very specific material that were from other fields of study, especially international law, and they managed to get all that for me. They contacted other libraries that were more specialized in those topics, and they were making use of interlibrary loans, so I could get all the material I needed. So I think this accomplishment is also due to their support. And in the end, I think I could say that I did a decent job. At least I'm happy with the results. My thoughts on the future of international tax, I think I would rather say my hopes for the future of international tax. And I have hopes for a more inclusive global tax dialogue with a better representation of developing countries' interests, so that we can have a fair discussion and a fairer division of taxing rights. And with the UN now proposing to take the lead in the discussions, maybe this is the moment for that. Whether the UN will be a better and more effective forum for that is still to be seen, but we certainly can hope for that. The advice I would give to someone starting a career in international tax would be not to underestimate the importance of other fields of study like accounting or international law, because they can be quite helpful at times. And I think they probably also make you a better, more complete professional. And I would also say, try to really keep a good track of the tax developments, because nowadays changes happen at a very fast pace and with high complexity involved. So if you really don't keep an eye on it, you may face the snowball effect and be a bit overwhelmed with the amount of information. And you can have a hard time trying to catch up after a while. So creating a routine where you are constantly keeping yourself up to date with the developments, making use of very good and reliable source of information will definitely make your life easier. How do I maintain a good work-life balance? That's not very easy. And I have to say that for me, this is still work in progress. But I have improved, especially since I arrived in the Netherlands. I think the Dutch are very good on that, and I have learned a lot. But what I try to do is I try not to check work emails outside working hours. I don't have work email notifications on my phone, for example. Holidays are sacred. You should never bring work for your holidays, so you can really disconnect from everything. And I would say also try to say no whenever possible, whenever you can, to extra work that you think will, in the end, really take time from your private time. And I know it's not always easy to do that. Sometimes we don't even have a choice, but maybe trying to remind ourselves what really matters to us and what makes us happy may help keeping the vision a bit clear and maybe help us also making better decisions.